Welcome, welcome, everybody. This is the CyphaDen Chat. I'm your host, Tayamu Danko. I got my homie Rambunctious with me, my homie Pestilence or Pestle Pete down there, tuning in. And tonight we got special guests. Touring artist just dropped his new record, Teflonious Monk. John Jigg's in the building. What's going on, man?
Yo, what up?
Yeah, man. What's going on, man?
Peace.
I see the tours coming up, international style. You know what I'm saying? You can be out there on the road with the homies, the homie Afro. Actually, we've had Afro on the podcast before.
Yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy.
And me and Afro actually just recently dropped a joint.
Okay.
That my homie Trent Magic produced. But yes, let's talk about your record because I was bumping a new video today that dropped today.
Just fine.
I sent it to the homies, and I've seen nothing but great reviews so far from the new record. So let's talk about what inspired the album and your process as far as putting that record together.
All right, so it starts with me and Butter Knife. You know what I mean? So we actually are from the same parts, you know what I'm saying? East End of Long Island. You know what I'm saying? I've been, anybody from out there will tell you I've been doing my thing out there since I was a youngster, probably 12, 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? Been rhyming and just making a name for myself or whatever. And I actually didn't know him at that time, but he kind of like remembered me. You know what I'm saying? Like just hearing about me or whatever, just being involved in hip hop. So we had been working back and forth doing like features and singles here and there and stuff like that. And then finally, we came to the table to talk about doing an actual full project. And it was pretty, I mean, to be honest with you, it was pretty simple, man. I came back. I live in Atlanta now, you know what I'm saying? But I came to New York for like 3 days. He put me up, he put me up in his crib or whatever, and we knocked the whole thing out in like really 2 days. The whole thing was done. You know what I'm saying? And we while we was there, we started watching like these documentaries and stuff on Thelonious Monk. I had been familiar with some of his music because my mom was like a big jazz fan, my parents, but I had never really dug deep into it, like and really, you know what I'm saying? So I started to not only study the music, but like study like the kind of person that he was or whatever. So the thing about Thelonious Monk was that he was like he he was he was not willing to like change what he was doing. What he was doing was totally different at the time from what anybody else, any other pianist was doing at the time. You know what I'm saying? And some of the melodies and the melodies and the rhythms that he was catching with the piano was like something totally different from what everybody was doing, and they really thought he was crazy. You know what I'm saying? And he stuck to that, and he actually made a big name for himself. At the time, at his peak, he was the most popular in his genre. You know what I'm saying? For doing what he did, and I admire that. I admire people who stick to their guns and still become successful. Like even in like the hip hop world, like if you look at somebody like a Currency, for instance, you know what I'm saying? Same type of thing. He was signed to Young Money, probably one of the most commercial labels at the time, and he literally parted ways with them because he didn't want to. They wanted him to rap about certain things, and that just wasn't him. They wanted him to make a certain type of music, and that wasn't him. And look, he's going on to still become one of the biggest, especially on the underground level. I don't even know if you would call him underground, but you know what I'm saying? He stuck to his guns and he made a way. You know what I'm saying? Even like a Freddie Gibbs, you know what I'm saying? Same type of idea. You know what I'm saying? He's always just been done the same thing and it's worked for him. So when I saw those similarities and he and obviously Thelonious Monk, he came before all of them. So I admire I said that to say I admire those types of stories. You know what I'm saying? And then I started to find out about like more of his personal life, how he had like mental issues and things like that. And he would a lot of times they would say that he would kind of internalize things and then it would come out in the music. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
And that's something I can identify with too. You know what I'm saying? Like he just most geniuses are eccentric. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Most
right.
people who are like really, really talented, they're like a little weird and they're a little different from everybody else. So I just saw a lot of similarities in it, and it really inspired me in a way that like sometimes you guys know like the underground game sometimes it gets hard. Sometimes you like damn, because I know I'm talented enough. I could go make some commercial bullshit tomorrow and probably
Mm.
be a lot more successful. You understand what I'm saying? I know I had those skill sets, you know what I'm saying? But it's not true to me. It's not what I want to do. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? So that's really where the whole Teflonious Monk came from. And then I know like my boy Butter Knife, he's had his issues with depression and things like that too. So like it really we really saw found similarity in each other too with that. And it actually brought me and him closer too. Like, you know,
Nice.
um and that's where the whole thing came from. You know what I'm saying? Just you pretty much just sticking to your guns and doing what you want to do, you know?
That's dope, man. You
Yeah.
talked, so now you're in Atlanta, but you're from Long Island. So I
Hmm.
have two questions about that. I want to
Yeah.
know, um, do you feel like today's age of the Long Island hip hop scene, do you feel like it's separated from NYC, or do you think everybody mixes together from that entire area, or is Long Island its own thing? And then also, what was the transition like moving from New York down to Atlanta, and why why was that move what you decided to do?
Well, I would say to answer the first question, Long Islanders, we've always had our own scene, but you got to be careful with that because you can get stuck in, like me. Like I come from not even just Long Island, but I come from the east end of Long Island, even more obscure area in Long Island. You know what I'm saying? Where we're far from everything. It's like an hour and a half to the city. You know what I'm saying? So like and for years I was known out there and I was what they call hood famous or whatever out there. And if you're not careful, you can get caught up in that. You could become comfortable with that. You know what I'm saying? And uh I so the thing about it is Long Island has their own scene, but if you really want to make a splash in this game, you have to go to New if you're from Long Island, you have to go to New York City. You have to get that respect there. You have to jump in when I was coming up, we had to jump in those ciphers. We had to go to those open mics. We had to go to end of the week. We had to go to, all these different places, you know what I'm saying, to make our names known. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And so that was the whole thing. Like, we and I never wanted to be pigeonholed as just like a Long Island artist. Like, I always just wanted more. Like once I got to New York and I saw that they was respecting what I was doing too, then it was like, okay, now we need to go. Let's go to Philly. Let's go to Boston. Let's go to DC. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep
hmm,
let's keep this thing going. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, like I said, Long Island is its own world, but eventually you're gonna end up in New York City if you're gonna. It's like a rites of passage, you know what I'm saying, type of thing.
that's what's
And
up.
then as far as me coming to Atlanta, I just to be honest with you, I'm kind of like in the outskirts of Atlanta, and it's very suburban now. You know what I'm saying? It was just time for a change. I've been in New York my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I saw when I came here, I saw like a better place to have a family and like raise kids, and you know what I'm
Mm,
saying? And like, they get, New York is like a tough place to grow up. You know what I'm saying? Even on Long Island, it could be a really tough place to grow up because it's just like I don't know. It's a very cold place. It's a very straightforward, rigid type of environment. Which me personally, I love it. But I don't know. I don't necessarily know if I want my kids to grow up there in 2025. You know what I'm saying? So that was really the main thing, is just giving them like the best opportunities that I could. As far as if they want to do sports and career wise and things like that. I feel like here there's a lot more opportunity for them.
mm, I feel that. Ram, you got
Yeah.
something?
Well, back to the Thelonious Monk stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You were talking about him having the mental problems and just kind of I had heard that once. I had heard that before too. Um, and then you and not mental problems. I shouldn't say that, but they
Yeah.
suspected him of being crazy. I remember that, and what they
Yeah.
would call mental problems, which would just be regular struggles, really.
Right.
But and you said you and Butter Knife are connected on that. How much did that influence the creativity? And then how much creativity did you draw from Thelonious? Because I went back through some of your videos, and this newer one is totally different
Yeah.
from anything you've ever done. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So how did you draw creatively from Thelonious, and also, you see what I mean, like mix that with drawing from the mental health aspect.
Well, the main thing definitely would be like just like the artistic freedom of just being like fuck it, fuck what they say, fuck what they think, fuck what you want to hear. Like I'm gonna just do this shit because it feels good. You understand what I'm saying? Like I think like I've been I'm an artist, but I'm also a businessman. So sometimes you can get caught up and let the business get in the way of the creativity, and you might overthink it, or you might try to target something to a certain crowd or whatever the case is.
Right.
If you look at the first single, the Teflonious Monk, the first single, it definitely has a little bit more of a bop to it or a rhythm to it than most underground hip hop right now. You know what I'm saying? And I do that on purpose because I feel like underground hip hop, as dope as underground hip hop is, like it's almost like we don't know how to have fun. And to me,
Right.
that
Right.
doesn't make sense. When hip hop was in its golden era, we even though you had artists that was super duper grimy underground, but you also had danceable records. You also had,
Yeah.
and it was still hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
With
saying? I
backup
mean, listen,
dancers.
if you go, if you go over, look at Big Daddy Kane, one of the greatest MCs ever. He used to dance the whole show.
Heavy D
You know what I'm
doing the
saying?
running man and rapping.
You know what I'm saying? Kid and Play, they were nice on the mic, but they still got busy too. So I mean, I'm not gonna be doing all that shit, but I still feel like that energy is needed. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can rap, everybody's good at rapping, but you know what I'm saying? Entertain me. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I
Yep.
feel
I
that.
love it. I love it.
Pest, you got something?
Yeah, I mean, like just overarching, and this kind of a weird question, but you got this project you just dropped. As a
Hmm.
creative, what's your flow in terms of, okay, you just dropped this project. Is this something that obviously you're going on the tour, you're running, you're promoting that album during that, but are you
Hmm.
already in the creative stages of a next project? Do you have a bunch of different projects going on at once? How do you handle that process as a creative? Or do you just kind of focus on one thing exclusively at the time and try and do it all for that while you're putting your energy out there?
Well, to be completely honest with you, I'm always working on like at least three projects at the same time. And it's kind of like
Wow.
whatever I get done, whatever gets done first, whatever is ready to go, we service it and we put it out and we go. You know what I'm saying? I'm always there's always I'm always working on several projects. That's just to me, that's just the way. And we do a lot of work on the road too. Like, you know what I'm saying? We try to travel with the equipment. So because like I got a squad, but I'm down here, and most of them are up north. So I don't always get to, I don't always get to be with them and create as much as possible. So so when we do get together because we're on tour or whatever, we'll bring the equipment and we'll get in the hotel room and we'll get busy right there. You know what I'm saying? We'll
Yeah,
record right there. You know what I'm saying? My creative process, once I get a rhythm going, it's simple. It happens quick. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I always say like my best songs, they kind of like write themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have to think
yeah,
too much. If I'm feeling the beat, if I'm feeling the production, and you know what I'm saying, that song will take like maybe a half an hour tops. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not making it up. It's coming from the heart. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Um, you know what I mean? So that's the whole thing. Yeah, the creative process is, you know what I'm saying, it's quick and it's easy. When it's not forced, it's the best thing in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I
Yep.
definitely get that.
Yep.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I think everybody in this chat. Now that you said that, it's kind of on that same wavelength as far as the
Yeah.
creative process goes. But I've heard other people recently that kind of have a different way of going about it. So I'm always curious now,
Yeah,
because I think that kind of it does something as far as explaining what your drive is as an artist or what you're really looking for. And I think if you're somebody that's constantly creating, there's more of a connection
yeah.
with that
And
part
one
of it than it is for other
facts.
people sometimes.
Mhm.
And then one thing that I try to do now, like especially if I locking in on a project with a whole project with a producer, I don't really want to unless you're like somewhere overseas or something. I really don't want to be emailing songs back and forth. Like I would to me it's just easier if we get together for like 2 3 days, we can have this whole thing done rather than taking months and months and months to,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, to go back and forth
Yeah,
and agreeing on mixes. Like to me it just makes sense. Like let me just come where you at and we get this shit done. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I think that also helps the process too when you don't have to. You're not sitting there worried about studio time, looking at the clock, and just let's get some weed, let's get some liquor, let's get some water, and let's just get this shit done.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
yeah. Let's
Yeah.
order some
Right,
food, lock ourselves in the studio, and knock
right,
out a project. No, I'm with
right.
that 100%. That's my favorite
Yeah,
way to create.
Yeah,
yeah.
me
It's the
and
best. It's the best thing.
me and Pestilence are also very appreciative that you sat and stayed through our set that we scared the entire college out of in Buffalo.
Yeah. Hey, live
Explain
and
that
Yo,
one.
learn,
y'all,
man.
You scared the
yo,
college.
y'all, y'all some wild dudes, man. Y'all some wild dudes, but I fuck with it. I was like, yo, this is actually creative. I was sitting there with my manager, like, yo, these motherfuckers are different, yo. That's what's up.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. And eventually we still got to get down on something, man, in the future, man.
Yeah.
So I I recently caught wave of you as an artist. You said you've been doing it for a long time,
Hmm.
but I got put on to you by somebody that recommended that we should talk because uh, I don't know if they saw similar work ethics. We both tour, we both do all this shit. When you came to
Yeah.
Milwaukee on the short Afro run,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
when you came to Milwaukee on that, I wasn't able to make it. I was actually out of town doing another show, but
Yeah.
that's when you were brought to my attention, and I was like,
Okay.
he's got some dope shit.
Yeah.
And
Thank you, man.
checked out the catalog, and then we obviously crossed paths in Buffalo.
Hmm.
So I want to know where your influence is, where the inspiration comes from early on. I want to know who inspires you as an artist and your influences in music as a whole.
Mm, so early on, I mean, my older brother was a DJ, right? So even from very young, he was like when I was a kid, he was already grown. I'm like the baby, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So he was a DJ, you know what I'm saying? And he would, he just used to have me around him all the time. Like I used to go with him to dig for records. I probably was like the only one that wouldn't complain being there for 2 3 hours. That's probably why he brought me, you know what I'm saying? Because I just wanted to be around him, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he had me, he just had me, he's the one that really made me fall in love with hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Because we talking about the 90s, we talking about New York City because he's from the Bronx. We talking about the 90s, we talking about New York City. He said he's teaching me everything. He's showing me everything. It was almost like, he got to build, it's almost like he got to build like a little Frankenstein, like a little hip hop Frankenstein, you know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
basically he's just teaching me all the stuff that he wanted to do probably when he was young, you know? And um that was really what made me fall in love with it. And I was a fan first, just listening to everything I could find, everything I could get my hands on. And then I think around, I want to say like 95, 96, Crisscross came out, right? So I
Mm.
see Chris, so they said here. So this whole time I'm thinking, you got to be you got to be an adult to rap. I'm thinking you have to be an adult to rap. But then I see Crisscross, and I'm like, I'm like, yo, these little niggas are better than the adults right now. They're killing it. You know what I'm saying? So once I saw that, that really put the battery in my back, and I started writing rhymes write rhymes, and I would go on the school bus and I would spit my shit or whatever. And I saw that people fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, wow, this is crazy. So I just started doing that. Like I think first I probably like started memorizing their rhymes first to like kind of get a
Right.
flow going, and then I started putting my own words in there. You know what I'm saying? And I would do my shit, and people was always like it always raised the eyebrow when I rap. So that from then on, it was just what I'm saying, all to the races. I was when I was in school, I used to get caught writing rhymes all the time. I'm supposed to be taking notes. I'm supposed to be listening. I'm supposed to be whatever. I was that kid that the teacher would be like, you know how they try to embarrass you, ask you a question about what they're teaching in the middle of class,
Yeah.
Knowing you're gonna be off. Yeah.
they know you're not paying attention. That used to happen to me all the time. You know what I'm saying? Um, and but by the time I got to high school, I really started to build a name for myself. I started battling and jumping in ciphers and stuff like that. And I probably went and recorded my first record when I was like maybe 16, 17. Now by this time, I'm into like Nas, I'm into Snoop Dogg, I'm
Mm.
into Jay-Z, I'm into like Capone and Noriega, all the Queensbridge rap. You know what I'm saying? Anybody from Queensbridge, I was heavy on that shit. A little bit of West Coast shit, like I said, Snoop, the Chronic, I was going back boot camp click, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I really got into it that way. And hip hop has just always been there. It's always been part of my life. Like I don't even know, like, you know, I do what I have to do to take care of my family and I work and shit. But I mean, really, if I had it my way, I would just be rapping for a living full time.
Word up.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm
I think we would. I think all of us would definitely love if that could be the main thing. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Uh,
Of
it's
course.
Yeah,
So
it's
shall it be?
it's you had spoke real quick. You had spoken on. Well, actually, one thing. Man, why so many? You mentioned crisscross. Why so many people hate on the young, rich, and dangerous follow up? Man, I mean, damn.
I
Oh
actually thought it was
boy.
I actually thought it was dope, but you know how that goes. It was, even though at the time I was intrigued by it, it was kind of like a fad. You know what I'm saying? So you know how that goes when it's a fad. It kind of comes and goes. You know what I'm saying? They were lucky.
Yeah.
I think they got 3 albums out of that, or
Yeah,
two. I think
I
they
mean,
got
Something
maybe
like
three
that.
albums, 4 albums out of that run. So they
Something like
didn't do
that.
too bad. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Something like that.
It's just they got caught in that the young kid thing
Yeah, you grow up. They grew up.
early on, and then they grew up and they
Yeah.
tried to do some real records, and people were like, I don't know.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then it was like they kind of took on like almost like a West Coast Snoop Dogg type of
Like
vibe
a
a little
harder
bit.
persona, yeah.
It was like it was like three of the brats. They was like the brat. All of them were like the brat. Rest in peace to the homie that passed away too.
Yeah.
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 Um,
Uh,
yeah. I was also going to ask you because me and Ram have played end of the week in New
mhm.
York, and I wanted
Shit
to
is fire,
see.
by the way. It's fucking so
I
so
wanted to
it's
see if
like so the essence of hip hop just being there. You just feel
Yeah,
like
facts.
you know what I mean?
we
Like you feel like a
we
movie or some shit.
we also got gigantic dollar slices of pizza before we
Yeah,
went, and
yeah.
but I wanted to see if you could tell uh end of the week story if you because you've been to it, right? You've done it.
A couple times. I did it when I was like on the come up, and then first and foremost, rest in peace, vice versus. Um, he was, what I'm saying, one of the main people there, and he passed away a few years ago. But yeah, I remember doing it when I was on the come up, and then I remember doing it again, like maybe like 2018, 2019. I was like actually on the bill. Like it was like a anniversary show or something like that. And I got to get up there and do my thing or whatever. So that was like really dope. I just remember I just remember being shown a lot of love, you know what I'm saying? They One thing about it, when you go to a place like that, it's not about the name, it's not about the glitz and the glamour, it's no politics. It's just like if you dope, they're gonna show you love, they're gonna fuck with
Mm-hmm.
you. So that's just one thing I remember about it because I remember doing a lot of other open mics and things like that in New York City. And, it's always like people always have their favorite, people always have their, what I'm saying? They have the people that they're going to cheer for, people that they were, what I'm saying? And that, especially in New York, New York is super cliquish, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's one thing I remember about the end of the day of just being like super unbiased and like, just pure. Like it was all love in there. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no
Mhm.
negative energy in there at all. And I remember that part too. You know what I'm saying? But it was a nice night. I remember the night I was there. I remember Mims was there, Nims was there.
Mm.
Yeah, it was a crazy ass night. This
That's
is
what's up.
like, yeah, this is early. This is early too.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a great ass night.
you know what? I didn't even know Versus passed because I know he was hosting when we went
Yeah,
out there.
yeah, he passed away. I don't know exactly what it was. I think he had like some type of health condition, it was natural causes
Mm.
or something. Yeah, but yeah, and I remember he was a good dude, and I remember he was like, "Yo," after I came on stage, he pulled me to the side and was like, "Yo, we're about to go to Paris, bro." He's like, "Yo, you should come with us." You know what I'm saying? He's like, "I think you'll be dope or whatever." And I never took him up on that offer or whatever. But like I just remember that because that was like some real shit. Like how many people meet you the first time and be like,
Yeah.
yo, you should, you know what
In
I'm
Paris
saying?
of all,
You
yeah,
say,
that's
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
crazy.
I just, what I mean, I just remember that. I remember the love he showed me. So that's always gonna be special.
That's what's up, man. Ram, you got
Yeah.
something?
Well, didn't you start by saying he was going on an international tour? Is that what I
Yeah,
heard?
he's
So the segues right into it. He was
starts
talking about
in March,
Paris.
right?
Yeah. Starting March 1st. We start March 1st in Lyon, France. Pretty much we're gonna be like all over the Netherlands and look. I think we're supposed to touch Belgium, a couple other places. But I'm gonna
Okay.
be there for like probably 11 days, something like that.
Have you
And
done a run like that before in overseas?
yeah, this will be like I think my fourth or fifth time.
Oh, okay. So you
I
familiar?
went,
You like
yeah,
I'm ready.
28, yeah, 2018. Was the first time I ever went over there. I put out Twin Cannons with K Slugger. He's a
Mhm.
legendary producer from Sweden. And me and him put a project out, and it really that really what put me on like the underground map. Like that's like a lot of people consider that like my coming out. You know what I'm saying? Like when I really, what I'm saying, I really embraced the underground shit. And I listen to that album still to this day and get chills. I'm like, yo, I don't even know what type of shit I was on at that time, but I was wild.
That's what's up, man.
You know what I'm saying? And it opened up like so many doors for me. That was like my first vinyl deal. You know what I'm saying? And the first time I started getting booked overseas, it took about maybe 6 to 8 months after I put the album out. But I had a nice little run set up, and I went over there and I had the time of my life, bro. And it's been beautiful ever since. The last few years we've been focusing on the UK, and this year we got a chance to go back to Europe again. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
what's up.
I'm just excited, man. It's about to be dope. And the crowd just keep getting bigger and better, and you know what I'm saying? It just, the tour
That's
is just,
dope.
it keeps going to another level. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Pesto, you got something?
Yeah, so you said you've been rapping like most of your life. Have you always been John Jiggs, or what were some of the other names, and where did the one that you landed on now come from?
Nah, it's always been John Jiggs. Before I don't even like when I was a kid, I don't even know if I had given myself a name or anything. I think I was just rhyming. But when I was like, I probably got John Jiggs when I was like about 15 years old. I was like literally in a cipher one day. I was in a high school lobby. I'll never forget. And it wasn't a battle, but it was just like a cipher. One kid spit, and another kid spit. And when I got done spitting, somebody was just like, John Jiggs. I swear to God, it was this. He just somebody just like yelled it out, and it was like a aha moment.
Yeah.
Hey,
Damn.
And it was like a aha moment. I was just like, that's it right there. I mean, my birth name is John. My first name is John.
Right.
So, and they was like, and I was like, yo, and we was trying to think about it. Like back then, we used to call a knife a jigger.
I
So it was
was
like
just about to
John
say, it
Jig.
didn't mean like you
And then
cut
I always,
like
and then I always been, and then I always been, a pleasantly plump dude. So they, John Jiggs, and then the Jiggs like to fly, like wearing nice clothes and shit like that. So that was always, you know what I'm saying? They just put all that together and
Yeah.
it just stuck. And then at first it was just John Jiggs with the S. And then I was a big fan of Mace when I was in high school. He had MA$E. So I was like, I put the dollar sign on the end of my name instead of the S. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. What's
what 24 Hours to Live, is that Mace's best record?
Nah, he got some better ones, yo. He got some shit. He got yo.
That's
Mace,
my favorite one, but
No, that's one. No, that's definitely one. And that's definitely one of the ones. But his verse on Niggas That Started Something, bro.
Oh yeah.
Any nigga wave a tech at Mason better have an explanation. Yeah. But beat him with aluminum. Then I put two in them. Yeah. Like I kind of, it makes me, because I remember Mace from before. I was a mixtape head, so I remember Mace before he became a pop star. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I remember Mace before he became a pop star, and it makes me kind of
when he was Murder Mace.
Yeah, it makes me kind of hate Puff a little bit because you took this incredible MC and you made him. You know what I'm saying? You kind of made him. You made him where niggas don't really respect it.
Yeah,
but people respect his pen, but it's still like I'm sure he made a shitload of money and he probably fucked some of the baddest women in the world.
Respect and shit.
Right, but he didn't have the underground respect no more.
It's basically what DMX wouldn't let them do.
Right. Yeah, basically that's the truth. Yeah, but Mace was always ill to me. You know what I'm saying? And I hated it with him. And I hated when him and Jay-Z had their thing too. That tore me apart because I'm like, I love Jay-Z, I love Mace. Like, why y'all got to do this right now?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
word.
Yeah, man. So it sounds like you've been touring for a minute, kind of like I have. So do you have a favorite tour destination, favorite show that stands out, and then your least favorite place?
So shit on somewhere.
Hey, you gotta do it. You gotta do it.
Yeah, fuck Tucson. No,
why? So they can never book me again.
Actually, I love Tucson. I grew up in Phoenix. I don't want nobody to think I'm actually shitting on Tucson. Tucson's a shit.
Yo,
I mean, we've talked about ours. One of my worst shows ever, and I still go back there just to try to make it a better time.
Make it better.
No, but that was terrible too.
Pottsville's come on, man. How is Pottsville not number one?
No, because that Racine show is the worst ever. The Racine show with Pestilence is the worst show I've ever had.
Yeah.
It's not the venue's fault. The venue rules.
Yeah, the venue was super cool.
It was
the vibe. It was the vibe of
Tom rules. The venue
show is what made it whack.
Yeah,
that's what made it whack. It wasn't the city. And it wasn't.
It was the people in the city.
It was the people that were at the place
at that
point in time that made it whack.
Bro, even the last time when you had Jance there, that one lady that got like real pissed at me when she was like looking at your merch table.
Yeah. Hey, she still bought something though.
She did buy something, but she came over and talked shit afterwards.
What was the favorite city again?
Let's lighten up the mood. I'm gonna talk about my favorite place I ever been. So the first time I ever went to Europe, it was 420, right? So
it's already starting out good. Let's go.
I was in Copenhagen, Denmark. Copenhagen, Denmark has. So it's a beautiful city, but they have it's almost like you go by, almost like I can't even explain it, but it's like a park and it's like behind like everything downtown. And they call it's a village. It's all dirt roads. Nothing's paved. The dirt road is called Christiania. And it's like almost like, I guess you would say it's almost like a red light district because they had at the time weed was still not like legal like that. So they had like all these stands where they could freely sell weed and they could freely just do, it's just very artsy area. And they had this big venue in there. I think it was like maybe 650 caps, 700 caps, something like that. And that night I had a show with Lord Finesse. So, and I remember that show. That show was one of the most amazing. And I still, if you go on my Instagram, I still save the footage from that show because, first of all, the whole building was filled with smoke, but it was nothing but a sea of people all the way from front to back. It was packed. You couldn't even walk in there. And I just remember it was Lord Finesse and DJ Boogie Blind, and I performed. I opened up for Lord Finesse, and that show was the energy in there. You know what I'm saying? You would have thought I was fucking James Brown or somebody the way those people was acting. You know what I'm saying? And the promoter, they did us right. We had bottles in the back. So by the time I come on stage, I'm twisted. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be a night right here. You know what I'm saying? And we had so much fun. I'm a big guy, but I'm willing to bet I probably could have crowd surfed that night. I
I was,
probably could have done it. I
I
didn't
was
do
gonna
it.
ask. I was gonna ask
I
that
could have
too.
done
Yeah.
it. I could have. But I feel like that crowd was so into it that I could have got away with that shit. You know what I'm saying that night
That's what's up.
because there was the energy in there was insane. You know what I'm saying?
I've heard stories
The-
about Lord Finesse getting mad love overseas.
oh
You know,
yeah,
he
Lord
was doing a
Finesse.
lot of tours overseas.
Yeah, Lord Finesse, man. Lord Finesse, he killed it. You know what I'm saying? But even that's what I'm saying. Even me being at a Lord Finesse show and him being who he is and me still getting the love that,
Right.
you know how it is sometimes when you opening up for a bigger artist, people will kind of be sitting there like, all right, nigga. You know
Yeah,
what
do
I'm saying?
something. Yeah.
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 Like do something. Hurry up, because I want to see this nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but it didn't go. But it didn't go like that. It was like and like I said, the show was absolutely packed. And you know that feeling. You know, as you guys tour, you guys perform. When you got that whole crowd in the palm of your hands, man. There's no better feeling than that. When they do everything you could say put your left hand in the air, and they all do it. You know what I'm saying? And then he say put your right hand in the air, and they all do it. Like that shit it gives you a
Yeah.
high. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know what I mean? And that I just remember that I've had some great shows, but that one right there was that's something I probably never forget. And then this is also my first time overseas too, so I think that probably added to it too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Right,
That's
right.
what's up. You always. I mean, I've been hearing since way back, like like the hip hop shows overseas just be hit. Like they
Yeah, nah.
for even if you ain't like crazy known or whatever, like they're just people fuck with it heavy overseas. Like it's
Right.
different. It's way different from here because it originated here. Maybe I don't know what it is. I don't know why it's different now, but
I think I
it's
think I think they haven't had it as long as we have.
Yeah, I think we're
I think we
spoiled.
take it for I think we take it for
Yeah.
granted. They
Yeah.
haven't had it. Like if you go to the UK, it's a little different in the UK because UK has had hip hop just about as long as we have.
Mm.
Like they might be 3, 4 years behind us.
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Over there, when you get into Europe, when you get into mainland Europe, they're like 10, 15 years behind us. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
I mean,
wow, okay.
the internet has opened the gap.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Has closed the gap. I
yeah,
should say closed the gap.
yeah.
But but especially in those times the times when I was first going over there, I noticed it immediately. Like they still have that hunger. They still love it. Like how people used to love it here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now people just kind of the casual listener. Now they just whatever's on the radio or whatever they might hear when they in Target or whatever. That's what they listen
Right.
to. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
Um, but over there, but over there, they're digging for that shit. They're digging for that classic shit. They want that. You know what I'm saying? That's why the underground is having the renaissance it's having. It's not because people in the US they're rocking with it, but those people
No, it's a
overseas
worldly
they've
thing. Yeah.
been rocking with it. I'm looking at my analytics and I see it. You know what I'm saying? It's like they you know what I'm saying? They're the ones they're the ones that'll support. They're the ones that'll keep on streaming and shit until you can't
yeah.
stream it no more. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Another question I had just randomly out of the blue. You being from Long Island, New York, growing up out there, um,
hmm
Do you just get, because I've always had this, like, I know a lot of people in New York. I was on a label in Staten Island for a while, but my homie that ran that label, he would always just tell me these stories where he'd be like, yeah, man, I was at the shoe store the other day and like Raekwon was getting sneakers and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like,
You talking about NASA?
yeah, that
Yeah.
shit don't happen where I'm at ever. Like, we don't have just members of Wu-Tang shopping at the same stores. Like
Yeah.
you grew up there. Like, is there somebody like do you just run into motherfuckers out there? Like, how does that shit happen?
Well, I'll never forget. He probably doesn't even remember this. Speaking of running into somebody, I mean, if you follow my career, you know that it's like I was like a who. When it comes to Long Island, it's kind of like my resume is like kind of like a who's who. PMD, Granddaddy IU.
Okay.
I've been around K Solo. Been around Keith Murray plenty of times. These people. You know what I'm saying? But I would say before really anybody really knew who I was working at this little like a little breakfast deli spot in Islip Terrace. And and one morning, Eric Sermon came in there
Oh my
and
God, that
got
would be
him. And I'm
crazy.
actually made Eric Sermon's breakfast sandwich. He probably doesn't remember that I made his bacon, egg, and cheese. And I'll never forget, like he pulled up mad fly. He's driving a brand new Audi and shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
And you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and he was doing this thing. From what I hear, God rest her soul, I think his mother used to live out there, so maybe he was coming from visiting her or something like that.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, he probably don't even remember that. You know what I'm saying? Because I ran
Yeah.
into him later on. I've run into him a few times later on, and he's always showed me love. And I've done shows with him because I was running with PMD. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
he knows who I am, and but but this is way before that. So
Yeah.
that's like somebody that I ran into. But I mean, probably the first. Definitely, if you're from Long Island, especially my part, you definitely know Keith Murray. Keith Murray definitely got around. You know what I'm saying? Like around the hoods and shit like that. Like people know who he is. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I've definitely been around. You could bump. I mean, New York is one of those places. Even in New York City, like I definitely have ran into a few people. My brother also, he kind of plugged into like that Bronx DJ community. You know what I'm saying? Like I Chuck Chill Out has come and visit my brother a few times at the house. When my stepmother, my brother's mom, she passed away, Chuck Chill Out was at the house for the repast after the funeral. You know what I'm saying? Like so these are people that I know. My brother, he knows DJ Jazzy Joyce and Coco Chanel and people like that. He knows them. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely, you know what I mean? But the thing about it, once you actually meet these people, you get around these guys, you look up to them in music and shit, but they're just regular people. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Definitely
Yep.
just regular folks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I used to look up to these people like they were like superheroes and shit.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But and not to take anything away from them, but
No, I
they're
know. Yeah.
regular people, and I think they'll tell you that too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I just I'm just happy. Like a lot of the people that I grew up listening to, they like a phone call away now. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's ill. I think that's ill that I would be
Yeah.
Hell
able
yeah.
to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Word.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
Blessings, sir.
Definitely. Ram, you got something?
No.
He ain't got
So I mean,
nothing.
not at this
Pesto,
very second. I mean,
Pesto,
I was
Pesto.
just
What
taking
about
in
you,
what he
man? You
just
got
said,
something?
actually.
I mean, yeah, I got lots of stuff, man.
I mean,
Well,
I got,
go,
yeah.
well, go ahead,
What
bro.
do you want from me, son?
Whatever you got, son.
Did you get into the Super Bowl situation at all, and watch the halftime performance? And what did you think about that? And like the reaction from, seems like there's like there always is around the Super Bowl halftime show. It
It's
don't
fifty
matter who
fifty,
they
I
have
Yeah,
think.
performing. There's always
yeah.
people that get pissed. There's always people that think it's amazing. What did you think?
Well, first of all, I love Kendrick, man. Love Kendrick. I love what he stands for. Um, yeah, I mean, we were having that conversation at the beginning, sticking to what you do and working for you. You know what I'm saying? He's a great example of that. I mean, he's on a way higher commercial level, but he's a great example of like, you know, he's talented enough to do other things, but if you really think about it, he's never really going outside of who he is, and I
Mhm.
respect that. As far as the Super Bowl performance, I mean, there was so much message and imagery, and the reaction that I see from a lot of people just shows me that people are just dumb as fuck, bro, or either
Yeah,
dumb as fuck, not even dumb,
that's true,
not
man.
even dumb, not even dumb, but ignorant, because there's a difference between being
Oh
dumb
man,
and
Yeah,
I couldn't have
ignorant.
said it better
Because
myself.
dumb means that you don't know. Stupid means that you don't know. Ignorant means that the knowledge is there and you have access to it, but you refuse to accept it. That's what
yeah,
ignorant is. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
when I see, like, especially, what I'm saying, not even to make it a racial thing, but what he's doing, and he's really trying to teach. He's doing this for us, for black folks, to really teach us, like, to really show us, like, yo, this is what's happening. You know what I'm saying? We black folks, we've come a long way, but we still have very far to go. And when you see the reaction of some people when they're like, when they just don't get it, and it's like, oh, it's boring, or where's the fireworks, and people are talking about his genes, and it's like, yo, did you just miss? This motherfucker
Yeah,
just gave you a master class,
yeah,
and he did it in front of Agent Orange. He did it while he
yeah.
was watching.
Right after they
You know what
took
I'm saying?
the racism thing away, like,
Yeah, he probably didn't even understand it.
He definitely
You know
did
what I'm saying?
not know what was going on.
And that's
I
what
don't
I'm
think he
no,
saying.
understood all of it. No,
you
but I,
gotta you gotta respect
yeah,
somebody who takes the time. It's not always about being entertained, and that's people's problem, yo. People just want to be entertained, and there's nothing wrong with being entertained, but you gotta be able to learn something. Because frankly, if you're not showing me something that I don't know, or something that I haven't seen before, I'm not entertained anyway.
yep,
Yeah. I think it was the perfect time where we're at right now in the world for that to happen. I I I
Right,
yeah,
think I think I think it was the perfect thing. And like
right.
like Samuel Jackson as Uncle Sam was
It's
bro.
just
The
crazy.
symbolism, the
yeah.
symbolism was crazy. The
Yeah.
messaging in exactly the dialogue used, the storyline, dog. Just
And
the
then
simple symbolism of all black people dressed up in red, white, and blue, bro. What the fuck are we talking?
right. And if you
Yeah,
know, and the thing about it is, if you really know Kendrick, he's been doing this shit since Overly Dedicated.
yep,
He's been
yep.
doing this since Dedicated.
That's why I
You know
like
what
the
I'm saying?
fact that he's gone commercial without trying to go commercial.
That's what I'm saying.
He never
That's what I'm
even
saying.
tried.
He's
It was
actually
just,
he's able
you
to,
know,
and those are the special artists, the ones that are able to give you something special and still appeal to the masses. Like, what I'm saying? Like, if you compare him to his counterpart, or his nemesis Drake. You know what I'm saying? Drake is very talented. Drake is super dope, but I never learned nothing from him.
there's no depth. Right,
There's no, you know what I'm saying?
right,
It's all
right,
surface level. It's all surface level shit. You
right,
know what I'm saying? Which is
right.
cool. Like, now, if I'm riding in the car with my lady or whatever, that shit is cool. But if I'm sitting here building with one of my homies, or, what I'm saying, we trying to have a conversation, or we, what I'm saying, whatever the case is, or even if I got my 16-year-old son in the car and I want him to hear something that I
Mhm.
know is gonna entertain him and teach him, you know what I'm saying?
Yep,
I'm gonna play some Kendrick, or I'm gonna play some Nas. You understand what I'm saying?
yep,
Yeah.
Even Jay-Z, they give Jay-Z a lot of flack for being super commercial, but you learn shit from Jay-Z. Jay-Z,
yep,
if you go back and you listen to his catalog, he's teaching.
yep.
He's gonna tell you all the flashy, cool shit. He's gonna tell you about, the model he had and all of that. But he's gonna teach you something at the same time, and
Mhm.
that's that right there is a talent that not everybody has,
Mhm.
and a lot of people just aren't ready for. I told somebody today, people are addicted to McDonald's. They don't want soul food. They don't want slow cooked soul food.
Mhm.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? That's a problem. People are addicted to Big Macs and French fries. When you could go to grandma's house on Sunday, you might have to wait 3, 4 hours for that motherfucker to be done. But when it's done, you ain't got to eat again for the rest of the day. You need one meal of that. You understand what I'm saying? You eat McDonald's and you're hungry again in an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying?
And that's every facet of society. It's microwave society.
Yeah. And that's what we're dealing with.
Yep.
Pastor, what did you think about it?
I thought it was dope, man. I agree with like the symbolism. I think, like there's no backing vocals or nothing. The performance was dope.
Right.
I think the people getting like worked up about it. The only like critique I've heard that I was like, yeah, I think that would have improved it. I don't know if it would have been feasible to do it with everything else they had going on, was if they would have gotten a live band to do the instrumentations, that would have been cool. But I mean,
Yeah.
it
I thought
wasn't
his
really
mic was a little low
necessary
too.
for.
I thought
That
his
was
mic was a
Yeah.
little low too.
And that was the only thing I thought was the mic was
Yeah,
low.
if he would have, the mic was low, and if he would have had a live band, I think that would have like
think-
made the entertainment of the performance itself better. But it wasn't about that, so it's not
Yeah.
like I don't think he missed the mark by any means. And he,
No, I think the live band
know.
would have took away from the concept of him moving through the story.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it would have possibly
Yeah.
detracted
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
message beyond,
Right.
Yeah.
for the sake of entertainment. Which I mean,
Yeah.
I definitely understand. I think, I mean, what he set out to do, he clearly really thought it out and executed it really well.
Yeah,
So I think it
he had his
was.
point across. It just reminded me. It literally reminded me of like a mini Kendrick album. Like this is what his albums sound like when he puts them out. It's like he's gonna do a song and then there's gonna be some talking, and
Yeah.
you're gonna learn something along the
It's
way. And I
almost like
think
you
that's
travel
beautiful.
with it. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
personally, like as far as the Super Bowls go, when they get a performer, like I think the complaining should stop at after the first initial shock of, okay, this is who it's going to be. Everybody knew it was going to be Kendrick. Like then it's like shut the fuck up if it's not your thing. Like it's not going to be your thing going into it. So why are you trying to make a big deal out of it? The same way that, maybe 10 years ago they got Michael Jackson and somebody, well, I mean, most people liked him, but if somebody didn't like, Taylor Swift did it and people don't like her, it's like, it is what it is. There's
Everybody's
somebody
gonna
up
have
there.
something to
I
say.
appreciate
Yeah.
every one of those.
yeah,
I appreciate every one of the performers that they've gotten. Like even like the weekend, they had like all kinds of crazy shit. Like the choreography was really good. Like the ones that clearly give a fuck about the fact that they're at the Super
yeah,
Bowl and they're trying to put something on that's provocative or filled with a message or just
yeah.
downright entertaining and cool to watch. I think it's good. It's good as
I
long as
think
there's people
people.
entertaining. I mean, especially in a world where like AI and shit and automating stuff is starting to become more of a
Right.
trend. I think like putting entertainment on the highest stage is super important. So like fuck the people bitching about it.
Oh,
Yeah,
they just
people always gonna have something to say. That's the thing. It's always gonna be people always gonna have a
Yeah.
problem with something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
yeah, man.
I
Well,
got oh, I mean,
Oh.
I don't know if you were wrapping up and being
no.
done.
Go ahead, bro.
Other interests besides music, like
Um,
movies or I don't know. It's just
well, I'm a as far as movies, I'm a mob flick fanatic.
all right. What's the
I
question,
love
Danku?
mob.
What?
We usually ask about movies, and I think it's top
Top
what's the
five,
question?
top five mob movies right now. Top
All right.
five mob movies.
Okay, number one, my favorite, Goodfellas, Casino,
Bam.
Carlito's
Yeah.
Way.
Mm.
I mean, to me, that's a mob flick.
It's
You know what I'm
curveball a
saying?
little bit, but yeah, I guess.
I agree.
It's not Italian, but to me it's still a mob flick.
Yeah.
Carlito's Way. I kind of missed The Godfather thing. My mother was heavy on The Godfather.
I never got into
But it's just-
Godfathers like everybody else
It's
either.
just like a little too slow and violin-y for me. but but yeah, Carlito's Way. And then The Departed,
Departed, my favorite.
yeah.
I love it. I love
Irish
Departed.
Mob. Yeah, that right there was really dope. Yeah, but Goodfellas to me is like a master class You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
mob flicks. You know what I mean? I was big on The Sopranos. You know what I'm saying? I really, that's one thing that I feel like is missing. I really wish that they need to do something like a little bit more updated and new. You know what I'm
Yeah.
Have you
saying?
ever seen
I think
The Gentleman?
no, I don't think I saw that one.
So there's a movie, The Gentleman, that's directed by Guy Ritchie, and they've turned it into a series that kind of spins off of the movie. But
I
it
think I know
has,
about the I think I know, I heard about the series before.
yeah, it has a lot of those elements. It follows the weed business, and it's a lot more like ritzy and upscale side of it. But it's
Hmm.
pretty dope. It's got some real gangster shit in it, and the
Oh, I'm
guys
Yeah,
that
checking it
yeah,
are
out.
they're running it. It's really well done.
yeah. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
I'm a big who was that? Is that yeah, Quentin Tarantino? Like I remember what's that movie with Jackie Brown?
Yeah, that
Jackie
was a dope
Brown,
That's
yeah.
movie. Yeah,
that's a really good movie. That's a
I
really good movie.
yeah, yeah.
I love all Tarantino movies
Yeah,
actually.
pretty much.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, he don't miss.
did you like one of the newer mob joints, Black Mass? I like Black Mass. You like that?
Black Mass.
I
No,
did
I
too.
heard, but I heard about it. I don't think I saw that one. Yeah.
That's the one with where Johnny Depp plays the dude that just recently got
Oh, Whitey Bulger.
Whitey Bulger.
Whitey
Yeah,
Bulger.
yeah. Yeah, The Departed was about Whitey Bulger
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my
Some
Yeah,
shit.
evil motherfuckers.
your top two were my top two. Goodfellas and Casino for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Casino is
Yeah.
my
Casino,
shit,
so
bro.
Is
dude,
Bronx
Yeah,
that shit,
Casino is
Pesci is
amazing.
so good,
is
dude.
Bronx Tale considered a mob
Pesci's so
movie
good at
or
playing that.
no?
Yeah. I actually missed that one. Bronx Tale is definitely a
That's
mob
up
flick.
there for me. That's probably top
It's a
three.
love story mob
I love
flick,
it
but it's a
though.
mob flick.
I love that
Yeah, that's
fucking
a
movie.
great movie.
Yeah. Now you just
Great
can't
movie.
leave. Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, now you can't be. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. That's my shit. That's my shit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I then I gotta go there since Ram went there with the movie. So I'm a food head. You're from Long Island.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I need the best food spot in your area of Long Island that people
Specifically the east side?
that people need to go to if they're out there. I need it. I need to
Okay.
hear it.
All right. So there's a chicken spot in Riverhead. They got one in Riverhead where I grew up, and they got one in Bellport called Spicy's. They make the best chicken wings. You get you a 10-piece. They put 2 pieces of bread underneath the 10-piece, right? And they got this sauce, bro. This yellow, it's like a amber colored sauce, bro. That is amazing.
You had
You know what I'm
Dinko at
saying?
chicken wings, man. You had
Yeah,
Dinko at
yeah,
Yeah.
chicken
yeah.
wings.
Yeah.
But
By the
hold
time
on,
you
Because
but
it's
said
hold
the
on,
two
but
spicy.
hold
pieces of
on.
bread, it was so
But hold on,
It's spicy.
is it the real chicken wings or is it just
So you're
part
first.
of the wing?
Now I know why you're saying this because you're from the Midwest, and one thing I noticed about the Midwest, right, is that one thing I noticed about the Midwest is that you guys have when you say a 6-piece chicken wing, you're actually getting a whole chicken wing, right?
Yes.
You're getting the
Well,
leg, the little
well,
it
it
depends on where you
depends.
little
go.
It depends
drumstick.
where you go. It depends
Yeah,
where you go.
yeah.
One thing I noticed, I was in Kansas City like last year, and I noticed that when I ordered chicken wings. I ordered chicken wings from like 2 different spots, and both times, instead of like the half of the wing, they gave me like the whole
The whole
wing.
wing. Yeah.
So if you normally eat an 8-piece, you can order a 4-piece, and you'll be full, you'll be fine. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Because you're
Mm,
getting the whole thing. So that's one thing I noticed about the Midwest, and I asked somebody about it, and they were like, "Yeah, here they give you the whole thing or whatever." So, but no, it's just like the drum, and it's like you can get flats or you can get drums. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
but yeah, they that chicken spot, and then there's Carlos Pizza. That's in Polish Town, in the town I grew up in,
Mm.
Riverhead.
mm.
Carlos Pizza is amazing. Um, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, that's probably. I mean, there's probably a couple more spots, but those are the ones that come to mind right away. Like when I go home, I gotta have that. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. Carlos and
Carlos and
Spicy.
Spicy.
Yeah.
So how close?
But rest in peace to Spicy though, because I think they went out of business.
Oh, man, because I was gonna
I think
say
it was crushed.
I was gonna
He
say
wrote it
how
down.
close. I was gonna say how close to Spicy's were me and Pestilence because we played St. James, New York, and Long Island when we were on tour.
So you'd have been about 30 minutes from Spicy's.
You at the show?
We could have did
it.
Yeah. St. James. I've done a couple. I did something at St. James before. I performed at like a UFC event in St. James. They have like this sports complex where they do UFC fighting and shit, and I did like the halftime.
Those motherfuckers knew their city though. That chick was like, people ain't gonna show up until 2 hours after the show starts. And that other guy was like, ain't nobody gonna be awake until 11 o'clock tomorrow. You guys will be fine getting out of the city.
Yeah, like the traffic to get there was stupid. And I knew it was gonna be stupid because we had to go through NYC to get there. But then literally I'm like,
to go to Philly,
it's gonna be so long to get out of here tomorrow morning.
Nah,
it wasn't. It took no time to get through New York on the way out at all. 0 time. Like we went right through.
Depends on what time you go. Yeah, depends on what time you go.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Well, this has been dope, man. So you got Teflonious Monk. You got the tour coming up. Talk about what's coming next for you, and let people know where they can find you and how they can get in touch with you.
All right. So again, like you said, man, Teflonious Monk, the European tour is you know what I'm saying, is coming. Make sure y'all, tap in. All my people in Europe, man, make sure you tap in. I may not be coming to your city, but as close as you can get, pull up to the closest city that you can pull up to. You know what I mean? And when I come back, I'll be doing American leg as well. You know what I'm saying? Working on that shit right now, trying to put together those dates. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm definitely looking to touch Middle America. That's the thing that when I did Milwaukee and all that, that was like the first time that I actually touched Middle America. It's always been the outer perimeters. You know what I'm saying? And I was happy to actually be able to like touch places like Detroit and Chicago and you know what I'm saying, and Milwaukee and Indiana and places like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, ain't shit.
So I definitely but Indiana, but they got crazy in Indiana though.
I'm in Jeffersonville across the bridge from Louisville right now. So I'm just messing around because I'm in Indiana. I'm just fucking around.
So you an Indiana move.
No, well, I'm from Louisville, Kentucky originally, but I'm across the bridge, across the Ohio River Bridge. You're in Jeffersonville, Indiana, so it's like a suburb.
I actually got an uncle. I spent the summer in Louisville.
Oh, okay.
I got an uncle. He lived in Elizabethtown.
Okay,
E-town.
Yeah.
I spent like when I was like maybe I don't know 14, 15. I spent the summer with him.
But anyway, pretty wild actually. How old are you?
I'll be 42 this year.
Oh yeah, so 15. That was some wild shit back then.
It was like 96, like 96.
Yeah, Louisville was
like
wild
96.
back then, man. Yeah.
But it was Elizabethtown. I think that's like a little bit outside.
But it's still wild. E-town. That's why any town where they shorten it and just make it a letter and the E-town.
Yeah.
Like if I go somewhere and they're like, over in J-town, I'm like, nah, I'm not fucking with J-town. That's what niggas
right
wrong
about that. You're right about that though. Yeah, I spent
that's true. That's true shit.
I'm not lying at all.
I had a lot of fun in Kentucky though. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
But I would love to go back now that I'm actually doing this music shit or whatever.
Yeah, that's
but yeah, like just make sure you tap in. The new album Teflonious Monk is out now. Right now, this is exclusively on Bandcamp, and it's gonna stay like that until I fucking say so. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. I love that.
So keep grabbing, keep going and running up those downloads and supporting the artists, man. We got definitely got CDs, physical copies coming. You know what I'm saying? You can catch me on tour with them. I got plenty of merch, man. Make sure you get your Monopoly Family 10th anniversary you know what I'm saying, Yankee, you know what I mean? Make sure you grab that, you know what I'm saying, custom snapback. And You can follow me on all my social media, John_Jiggs on Instagram, at Jiggs the Great on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? And just tap in, man. I got a lot going on, man. A new video I just dropped today, the Teflon Smoke video. Make sure you go run that up. You know, like, comment, subscribe to my page, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, these guys will tell you, man, independent artists, we work hard, man. So every little bit of support counts, man. Even if you know, whatever you know, buy a hat, buy a sticker, buy something. You know what I'm saying? Because we need it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Video's
man.
fire too, man. Yeah, again. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Word.
Well,
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you being on the show, man. I hope you have a great international tour, and I hope you can formulate the U.S. leg. Maybe we'll cross paths again. I'm sure we will at some point in time.
Yeah, man. Let's collab on something, man. Let's collab on something. Do a run together.
Yes, we definitely need to make that happen. But yes, this has been CyphaDen Chat, presented by CyphaDen Music, where we inspire even those higher. And remember to never stop chasing your dreams, because you will never know what you are fully capable of. I'm your host, Tayamu Danku. That's my homie Rambunctious. That's Pestilence. And tonight we had special guest John Jiggs. Make sure you tap in.
Sir.
Keep in tune with it, man. And we will holler at you soon, bro.
All right. Peace, man.
Peace, man.
Peace.